you all very much. You would allow me the liberty of seeing all protocols observed, to distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all of our students, to everyone who's on board this morning. Thank you for this privilege. It's indeed a privilege for me to participate at this Maritime webinar hosted by the American Caribbean Maritime Foundation in association with the University of Trinidad and Tobago, formally themed Your Education, Your Future, Connecting Caribbean Youth with Job Opportunities in the Blue Economy. I take this opportunity to commend the American Caribbean Maritime Foundation, ACMF, which in its short history, working with educational institutions such as the University of Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean Maritime University of Jamaica, CMU, the LJM Maritime Academy of Bahamas, the Caribbean Association of National Training Authorities, the Women's Chapter of the International Maritime Organization, and the Caribbean Shipping Association has raised the level of maritime awareness and successfully promoted the maritime sector as a viable career option for aspiring students in the Caribbean region. All of the organizations represented here today can attest to the importance of the maritime industry. For the Caribbean in particular, due to our archipelagic nature, the maritime industry is critical in facilitating the import and export of goods within the region and further afield. It is therefore only logical that our people should be suitably trained and employed throughout the maritime industry, whether on seafaring vessels or in shore-based operations. For Trinidad and Tobago, maritime services plays a crucial role in supporting our offshore energy sector. As the development of the hydrocarbon industries of countries such as Guyana and Suriname picks up, it is expected that the demand for a range of maritime services will follow suit. Construction of the nation's first heavy berth lift is already underway in Guyana, and similar infrastructure works are being planned for neighboring Suriname. These investments and developments in infrastructure need to be accompanied by commensurate development of our CARICOM region's human resources. The Caribbean, and particularly the English-speaking Caribbean, are coastal states bordering two of the largest marine areas in the world in the form of the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. The North American sea routes carry the heaviest traffic of all sea routes. These and other sea routes are important in the shipping industry, as shipping is one of the lifebloods of the global economy. The international shipping industry is responsible for carriage of approximately 90% of global trade, and without shipping, intercontinental trade would not be possible. This global trade is enabled by a global fleet of over 74,000 merchant ships, manned by seafarers of virtually every nationality. The worldwide population of seafarers serving on internationally trading merchant ships is estimated at approximately 1,890,000 seafarers. This region, including Latin America, is responsible for approximately 10% of globally loaded goods. Yet, that volume of traffic in the region is grossly underrepresented with respect to personnel employed in the maritime sector. With projected expansions in seaborne trade, the merchant fleet is projected to exceed 79,000 ships by 2025, which will in turn require increased manpower. It is estimated that there will be a need for an additional 89,510 officers by 2026 to operate the world's merchant fleet. Therefore, the industry must significantly increase training and recruitment levels if it is to avoid a serious shortage in the total supply of officers by 2025. This is an opportunity for us in the region, and one that we must not miss out on. So increased collaboration between the industry and training institutions is required to address this manpower shortage and to provide trained personnel with the skill sets required in the industry. The skill sets are continuously evolving with the introduction of revolutionary technology such as sensor technology, robotic automation, cloud-based internet systems, movement to mega ships, and environmentally friendly fuels. Technology has become an important tool in driving efficiency, reducing greenhouse gases, minimizing waste. However, with the usage of internet-based technology, the occurrence of digital attacks to networks, systems, and programs have elevated the importance and the critical importance of cyber security. The global shortage in seafarers provides an opportunity for UTT, CMU, and the LJMMA to expand and to adapt your programs to meet the growing and technology-driven needs of the maritime industry. However, training institutions cannot carry the responsibility alone for ensuring that our countries are appropriately represented in the manning of maritime operations. Stakeholders comprising governments, regional shipping operations, port authorities must leverage their influence and/or authority on shipping operators whose ships traverse the Caribbean Sea, the Panama Canal, and the Atlantic Ocean. As a well-placed transshipment hub with some of the largest transshipment ports in the world and heavily used sea routes, such as the Panama Canal, it is estimated that 60% of the worldwide shipping traffic passes through the Caribbean Sea. As coastal states, we receive the majority of imported goods and services via transportation by sea. Other major commercial activities taking place within the region, which provide great economic benefit to their shareholders, include the cruise line ship industry, the oil and gas sector, and the fuels market. It would be in the interest of these industries to have good relations with the stakeholders in the region. There is an opportunity here for governments and interest groups to leverage our influence to ensure that these industries provide sustainable employment for our people in the region, and that we capitalize on the opportunities which will enable the building of capacity and diversity in our maritime workforce. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has identified the maritime sector as a key sector for development, with a focus on port operations, ship repair, and dry docking and marine services, including offshore bulk transshipment, bunkering, and maritime logistics. The transshipment business accounts for 40% of the country's port activities, which average port throughput of 600,000 TEUs, with the energy sector accounting for the highest volume of imports and exports. In recognition of the importance of the maritime sector, government has introduced incentives to stimulate activity in the industry, such as import duty concessions for locally registered firms engaged in shipbuilding and ship repair, value-added tax exemption for repair services for ships engaged in commercial activity, and an allowance to companies amounting to an uplift of 50% of expenditure incurred in the training of employees. Our jurisdiction over the sector is in line to be enlarged if our current proposal before the United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea to extend the country's maritime borders beyond our continental shelf is successful. This will require an increase of our physical and human resources to properly manage the expanded marine resource. The current activity and realization of the potential of our maritime sector makes it imperative that we aggressively develop our human resources. In this regard, as the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, it is my intention to prioritize the maritime sector for the funding provided for training by the energy sector companies as part of their contractual obligations. From a wider Caribbean perspective, the astute management of marine environment provides not only an opportunity for economic growth, but alignment with the global move to green and carbon neutral economies. As small island states relative to our landmass, we have vast ocean resources at our disposal, presenting a huge opportunity for boosting our economic growth and the responsibility to sustainably manage, protect, and preserve our ocean for now, for the present, and for the future generations. We must continue to pursue an integrated approach to building of our blue economy. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, once again, I applaud the ACMF and its partner institutions for its invaluable contribution to the development of the human resources in the maritime industry, and more importantly, the lives of its scholarship recipients. I must heartily praise Dr. Genevieve Brown-Metzger for the sterling work she performs in advancing the cause of Caribbean nations in the maritime industry. I urge the partner institutions and those in attendance here today to continue to support the work of the ACMF, to continue to invest in our aspiring young people as they represent our best hope if Caribbean countries are to become a significant force in the global maritime industry. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the privilege and the honor to have spent some time here with you today addressing you, and I look forward to participating throughout the rest of this morning's proceedings. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you all the very best going forward. And I look forward to the growth of this particular sector, as I've tried to outline succinctly the importance of the sector for our region. Thank you.